Chelsea. Or her bossa name is.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
Are we live? We're
Yes.
starting this thing now?
Yes.
Well, hey, welcome.
We're live, Lightskin
Gosh.
Chelsea.
Okay, we are live. Welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome to Building Wealth as a Couple. We're very excited to have you all join us.
Excited
For
in
a-
more ways than one.
Always. He always has to take it to an inappropriate HR situation level.
Yes.
Okay, as you're coming in, please let us know. Please let us know where you're joining from. And as you're coming in, if you registered for this event, you should have gotten a worksheet emailed to you. So you can print that out, you can follow along, you can fill it out. And if you did not register, you can still follow along. You can get something to write down and write with and write on, take some notes, and you can do some exercises because we're going to have some tactical steps that you can actually apply as you're learning and implement to be able to build wealth as a couple. And this event, let me tell you what, this event is primarily for couples. However, it's not only for couples. If you're not in a relationship, that's perfect too, because you actually have a head start. Because most relationships most people don't look at this stuff and learn this stuff and apply this stuff in their relationship before they get in a relationship. They start facing some challenges, maybe some conflicts, and then they're like, oh crap, how do we figure this out? Or have to make some financial decisions together. Yeah. So you're in a great position because you can start implementing these things, thinking about the kind of relationships you want to have, the kind of person you want to be in the relationship, and you can already be applying this and find that perfect someone to build wealth with.
So somebody's watching from Scotland, Texas,
cool.
People in Fort Worth, Texas. What's up, Rick Lawson? What's up, guys?
Awesome.
So if you're here with your Boston, Massachusetts, if you're here with your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your side chick, your booty call, your friends with benefits.
Okay, now this is an ethical. This is an event about having your ethics in. Yes, you're welcome.
We welcome everyone. Okay.
We do.
No matter what kind of situation you find yourself in.
Get it together. Come on.
And also if you're single. Look, when I was a single guy, I would go to stuff like this because number one, I wanted to understand how do I get things lined up the right way so that when I meet the right person, I could just boom execute on it. So it doesn't matter if you're single, married, whatever your relationship status is not the point. It's about getting a foundation understanding, because when you do find the person you want to go build with, you now have a foundation to go build with that, and it will actually help you to identify who's the right person or not. Because if you know where you're going, then you can know who you want to bring along for the ride and who you should kick off the bus. So what's up? Shout out to Florida. All right.
Absolutely.
So let's get rolling. So I'm going to do some screen share here unless you want to say something before I get started.
Yeah, I want to say something before we get started. I mean, we are getting started, but I just want to remind you guys that if you did register for the event, we emailed a worksheet for you to go through, and there's some things that you can fill out so you can implement the information you're going to learn today. Also, let us know where you're joining from. Please share this out. Please tag anyone that you think could benefit from this, especially if your partner isn't on, tag them and have them join in as well. And if you have any questions or comments along the way, please put them in. We'll do our best to answer any questions live. And if we don't get to it, we will make sure to reach out and answer your questions. And also, we have today, we're going to announce it tomorrow, but there is going to be a winner. We're going to pick someone to win a $100 gift card and a signed copy of our book, Let's Fight About Money, helping couples communicate about money, handle conflict, and build an unbreakable financial house.
So you can take your boo out to dinner.
Yeah,
or
Valentine's Day.
Take yourself or your boo out.
Valentine's Day is coming up, so we wanted to do a little special event focusing on couples getting on the same page, building wealth together. And if you don't already know who we are, we're Martin and Chelsea Matthews. We're married. We're in business together. We have a financial education and services agency with a combined 21 years experience. And we're licensed. We have clients in 48 states. And we help our clients to build an unbreakable financial house. And really what that means is that you can handle anything that comes your way financially, but it really is more than just being able to handle things financially. It's being able to create the life that you truly want to live and make the impact that you truly want to make in your own life, in your family's life, your community, your business, and beyond. And also by attracting the types of relationships that you want, having the right environment, the right people to work with, to live with, to love, all of those things. And so we're going to be talking about that today. So please get out, if you registered, please get out the worksheet so you can follow along and do the exercises and implement this as we go. And the reason that we're doing this event is because we want to help you to understand how to get on the same page with your partner as far as your financial goals and learn the exact steps to reach them. Okay, so this is a picture of our family. This is Martin, myself, our son, William. And, you know, before we were in business together, before we were in a relationship together, we weren't on the same page. We didn't even know each other. In fact, I was not living my ideal life. I was a stressed out single mom trying to figure out how to have family success and financial success. And I felt like I was failing at both of them. And so I really had a wake up call when I became a mom, because I realized I want my son to live his ideal life. I want him to have the, you know, most fulfilling relationships that he can imagine, that he wants, and have the tools to be successful. So if I wanted to teach him that, I had to learn it. I had to learn to be able to learn him. I had to learn to be able to teach him. So I set out on a journey to learn, how does money work? How can I make it work for myself? How can I get in a better financial situation? And when Martin was talking about, you know, attracting the type of relationship that you want, that's how we met. We did a lot of personal development seminars and workshops and books, and we wanted to create a better life for ourselves, and that drew us to the financial industry to improve our own financial situation and also help other people do the same thing. And so when we met, our goals were so aligned, the impact that we wanted to make was so aligned, that we decided to combine our life and combine our business and now help couples and businesses and people to really create an unbreakable financial house and their ideal life. So without further ado, we're going to get into our Building Wealth as a Couple event.
So look, so common question about relationships is, who wears the pants? That's what people always ask me.
I mean, I wear pants every day.
Who in the relationship wears the pants? Yes. So
can we both wear the pants?
That's one question. Can both people wear the pants? Look, it's more than this question. I want you to think about this question a lot, because it's something people ask, but I think it's the wrong question to ask, because it's not about pants, it's about hats. And I'll explain what I mean by hats in a second. So Chelsea and I get asked, and what's the number one thing we get asked a lot: how do we work well together? How do we build a business together? How do we run a family together? All these different things. We do a lot of things together. So how do you do that without driving each other crazy, and then building and advancing your family or your business, and reaching and doing things in your community? So the word hats here means, like, you know how when you see a police officer, they're wearing a hat, you know that's the job that police officer is supposed to be doing, or a fire person. So people used to be identified by the hats they wore. So when I say it's not about pants, it's about hats. It's not about who's the in charge person. It's not about who's the person who's supposed to be the dominant person wearing the pants, and you're the man or woman of the house or whatever it is. It's about who's doing what role. So when it comes down to your relationship, it's not about who's wearing pants. It's about who's wearing what hat, who's doing what in the relationship. Because Chelsea and I have different skill sets. There's different things that she's good at that I'm not as good at, and there's other things I'm good at that's not her strength, right? So in those situations, whenever we can understand how to wear our hats well and do our different tasks well, that allows us to move a lot faster because we're not stumbling upon each other. So for example, here's a real life example of how we operate in our business and in our life. One of the things we do is we do a cash flow analysis every week. So I look at our money every day because it's changing. Either I spent some money and I made some money, and what was the difference? Did I make more than I spent? Every day that number is changing inside of your bank accounts. So we look at I look at the money every day. Chelsea looks at the money every day. And every week she prepares a report. So inside of the business and in the household, Chelsea handles the bookkeeping. And then we have an accountant for the business. She prepares all the stuff that needs to get done, and an accountant does their part that they need to do. But on a day-to-day basis, Chelsea wears that hat, right? I don't prepare the financial reports in our household. I don't do that. That is Chelsea's hat. See, so we got clear. And the reason why that's Chelsea's hat is because Chelsea is way more organized than I am. Okay, she's the organized person. Things have to go in a certain spot and all that. That's not as important to me. Meaning, I'm organized to the degree that I need to be organized to get things done, but she's way more organized, so she's more competent with that particular task. So in our marriage and in our business, Chelsea does the cash flow reports. She sends that to me, right? I review that, and then I make business decisions on what we need to do to execute on what we need to get done. So let's say we need to reach a certain cash flow target. She reports what came in, what we spent, all the business expenses, all of that. That gets sent to me as a report. I review that. We come up with what do we need to do for this coming week on how we need to execute in our business. In the household, it's the same thing. Even if you're not in business together, in your household, somebody needs to be the person who is organizing it, right? So I'm the primary driver of the revenue, but Chelsea is the primary organizer of the revenue. My goal is to help drive the revenue to come in. Chelsea directs where that revenue goes and gives me a report on where that revenue went so that I can make decisions on what else we need to do to drive more revenue. You understand? Everybody's wearing a different hat. So in our household, I'm the CEO of the household. That's how it is. That's how we agreed. That's what it is. Chelsea is the CFO of the household, which means that she will go over the financials of the household. She goes over the financials of the business. So in your household, you have to clarify the roles. It's not about because I wear the pants I have to do. I could say, I'm not going to let Chelsea handle any of the finances. I'm going in and I'm driving the revenue, so I need to be handling that. No, that will set us back because it means there will be more tasks on my plate, more hats I'm wearing than I need to be wearing. She can handle those aspects of it. Organizationally, she can do those kinds of things. Very, very important for you to understand the differences with the different hats that you're wearing and then getting clear on it. If you have a stay-at-home parent, and one person is driving the revenue, then you need to let the stay-at-home parent manage the things they manage and not jump and try to tell them what they need to be doing if they're doing a good job. Get clear about what your roles are, and each person runs on that. So that's the foundational rule that we have.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example also in the household, because I mentioned earlier that before I met Martin, I was a single mom. So I was mom and dad. I was used to, for William's entire life, 7 years, I was mom and dad. And so I did all of the tasks, the discipline, the caring, the providing, all of those things. And so then when we got into a relationship, I had to learn how to allow Martin to take on some of those tasks when it comes to parenting, because I had never done that. And he hadn't been a parent before. So part of me is like, well, I've been doing this, I've been mom and dad for 7 years. You've never done this before. I got this. And so, but then my whole original desire when I decided, okay, before I used to not even want to be in a relationship. And when I was a single mom, I didn't need a man. I could do this. I could handle myself, right? But then when I got to the place where I do want a family, I do want a positive male role model for William. And so then I had to realize, well, if I want a positive male role model for William, I have to allow him to be a role model. I have to allow him to handle some of the discipline and handle some of the parenting things. So that's something that we had to talk about who's going to handle what thing when it comes to William. Even down to in the household, who's going to take out the trash? Who's going to do the dishes? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? All of those things. And one of the things that I really, when we combined our business, Martin is really, really, really excellent, expert, genius with the clients, and like seriously, with the clients and coming up with the plans and the way he thinks and can see things and plan things. And I felt like because we were in the same business, I felt like I had to be able to do those things too. And I had to be as good as Martin. So I constantly was kind of pissed off because I wasn't as good as him in those areas. And the things that I was good at, I felt like I'm just the freaking secretary. You know, it's like the organizational, the administrative, the bookkeeping, the scheduling. But all of those things are so important. If nobody schedules the clients, there's no appointments for him to work his genius plans and magic on. And if there's no bookkeeping, then the finances are in disarray. So we had to look at who's good at what and what are the things that need to get done. And once we could divide the tasks, everything gets done. And now as we've grown our business, then we've had to bring on more people. We've had to bring on staff and build a team because we can't do all of the stuff. We have to be peeling hats off. And even in your household, you know, like we have somebody to clean our house now because we have to look at what is the most efficient use of our time. And so looking at what are you good at? And how can you use your skills together to accomplish all the things that you need to do in your house and if you're in business together. So I would love to see in the chat if this is something that you have talked to your partner about, if you and your partner have talked about, like what roles are some things that you do and what roles are some things that your partner does? Or is this an area of conflict for you? Is this something where you guys butt heads? Because this is a very, very important thing to be in agreement and be on the same page. And I had to get where I felt confident that the things that I was good at are just as important as the income producing activities, right? He makes the money, I spend it. That's very important.
Yeah, and it also comes down to money personalities, which we'll get into here in a bit. But even little things like who grills. Like Chelsea doesn't grill in our house.
I used to.
I do the grill. Yeah, she used to do that. So now I do the grilling. And so it's once everybody knows who does what in the household.
I try to buy lots of grilling.
She does buy a lot of stuff for me to be grilling. So all right.
So I want you guys to take out your worksheet. If you don't have the worksheet, you could just make notes. And this is something that is evolving. You can continue to refer to. And I wrote down on here, you have your hats and your partner's hats. So you can start writing down what are some tasks that you handle, what are some tasks that your partner handles. And if you're not sure, just start writing down what things you guys are good at. And if you're not sure exactly what hats that are all involved in deciding who does what, this is where you really want to start looking at what is your ideal life? What do you want to create in your life? You know, and then so in the workshop, in the worksheet, it says your ideal life. How do you want to live? Like, what kind of house do you want to live in? How many houses do you want? Where do you want to live? Think about no considerations on your current present situation. Just think about what are your dreams made of when it comes to your ideal life, and just start dreaming and thinking, what do you guys want to create together? So how do you want to live? What experiences do you want to create? Do you want to travel? Do you want to have really cool experiences for your kids, or, you know, do fun things with your partner, or learn how to start a business or an instrument? What, you have something inappropriate you're thinking of? I can see the look on your face.
No, I'm not thinking of anything inappropriate.
So just think about what things do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And also, what impact do you want to make? Like, Martin is from Liberia, West Africa, and it is rated the poorest country in the world. And there are a lot of things that could be improved to help the people there improve the quality of their life, like clean water, lots of different things. And so that's one thing that's very important to us, to be able to have an impact. And then also our son, William, he was born early. He was born 3 months early. And so I was very involved in the March of Dimes, who provides resources for premature babies and for families. And so that's something really dear to my heart. William was in the hospital for 3 months fighting for his life when he was born. So I want to be able to make large contributions. I've participated, in their foundation. So think about what things are important to you. What impact do you want to make on the world? And then also you got to think about, what does that cost? What does your ideal life cost? It doesn't, Martin says, it's free to dream. Dreams don't cost a thing, but if you want to actually make it real, you need this. You need some money to make it real. And so you got to think about, what does that cost? What does my ideal life cost? And also, when you have you and your partner look at what's your ideal life, see if you guys are on the same page. See if you guys want the same things. That you don't always want the same things, and that's okay. Like Martin has a vacation that he wants to go on, like a cruise to Alaska. That sounds awful to me. I hate the cold. Definitely not Alaska. It's icy, cold. Ugh. I love the tropical islands. And he grew up like there's tropical weather.
My country's on the equator, so
yeah. So he's like, but I could go to the beach every day. Tropical islands. Oh, that's my jam, right? So we're not necessarily on the same page as our ideal vacations, but we can want to go on each other's experiences. Actually, I told him and William could go on the Alaska trip.
Well, we go to a lot of islands.
They both want to do that. We do go on a lot of islands. But also, there may be some things that you didn't think about that could be a cool adventure. So you can be thinking about what things are included in your ideal life, and then you can start to map out, okay, what do we need to do to create that ideal life? And then who's going to do each task? Okay.
And the reason you want to put a cost to this, because you need something to solve for, right? Your dreams it doesn't cost you anything to dream, but you need a target. Without a target, you have mystery. You're just going around in mystery because you don't know what something's going to cost. So you need to look at, okay, this is how much income I need to make each year. This is how much income I need to generate passively, quote unquote, passively from my assets in order to pay for the lifestyle that I want. Now you have a target. And then you can solve for that, meaning you can figure out, how much do I have to allocate, to put away, by what date, what interest rate do I need to earn, so that becomes real. Now you have a problem you're solving for. Then once you have because you can solve for numbers, right? So now the reason you solve for all this is to get the life that you want to live. And the reason you get on the same page is so that you don't have conflict in your relationship in trying to get there. So you want the things you want to get out of life. So you got to know what those things are. Then you got to know what those things cost. Then you got to know what moves you got to make to put yourself in a position to acquire those things. It's when you break it down, it's actually very simple when you look at it that way.
Yeah. So when you're looking at these things, who's doing what, who's wearing what hat, what's your ideal life? If you're in perfect agreement, that's great. And it's easy communication. But it's when you're not in perfect agreement, and maybe when there's some conflicts or you're facing some challenges and barriers, that where it's not as easy to communicate about. And so that's where this next part comes in. And that's communication. Communication is so key. And, one of the things why we named our book, Let's Fight About Money, is because, it's kind of a play on words, but if you're fighting about money, you're at least communicating. A lot of people just don't even communicate about it. So if you're fighting, you're at least communicating, and then you can work to go from fighting each other to fighting for each other. And so when it comes to communication, it's very important to understand a few things. And one of that is your money personality. So we're going to talk to you about what the money personalities are and then what to do with them.
Yeah. And I'm not going to go into all of them because you guys will all get a digital copy of our book. And we go over money personalities in there. But one of the main things is you have a money personality of a spender. So a spender gets money and what they think about is how they can spend this money for other things. So you can look at spenders and you can often tell. They may have few assets, but they got a fancy car, they got the belts, they got the shoes, the watch to go over and buy drinks at the bar for strangers. Dude, I used to be a
I
spender.
was gonna say that was it.
I used to be a spender. I'd go out and I'm like, hey, that was because of my money personality was informed by the way I grew up. The way I grew up, there was some scarcity around money, yet people would give me false data about money. I used to hear money's made to be spent. So if money's made to be spent, and that's the thought I had growing up, why would I save it? I wouldn't save it. I would just spend it because that's the information I was told. So I started to operate off of that. Even when I didn't have anything I wanted to buy, I would literally go and when I came to America, I would go to the mall and I would just walk around just to give my money away. And because I had a certain amount of money in my bank account that was like my comfort level. And anytime it went above that amount, I would go spend it back down to that amount. And that was the amount I was comfortable with. And so I would go and just buy stuff, buy random things. When I was a single guy, there was a pretty girl in the store and I walked in there and she was like, buy this, buy that. I'll buy it and spend my money. So understand that's the approach a spender does. The approach a spender takes and is informed by information they've been given through their lives or what they saw.
Thanks for the hearts, Instagram.
Thanks, appreciate that, guys. And then you have a saver. Now, Chelsea grew up as a saver. Her view on being a saver came from scarcity, not feeling like she didn't have enough and I need to hold on to this. So a lot of times people who are naturally savers, they have some general fear around money, not being able to get more. If I spend or use this money, am I going to be able to replace it? Am I going to be able to get more? So a lot of times they hold on to it. And so you look at different things on how people operate in terms of money. You have people who we call money monks, right? So there are people who they feel like money is bad, it's evil,
Dirty.
It's not spiritual, it's dirty. And you'll always hear them like, oh, I don't need money to be happy. I don't need. Look, what does money have to do with spirituality? Well, money has to do with your exchange. The ability for you to exchange and improve somebody's life determines how much money you're going to get back in exchange, right? Mother Teresa used to raise a freaking ton of money. So she needed money. She was one of the biggest money collector on the planet. She used to go and talk about all the work she was doing, and people would just write on these big fat checks. So Mother Teresa used to collect a lot of money. Don't let people fool you and think that receiving money is somehow unpure or bad or evil or whatever it is. It's an excuse that people give when they don't know how to get the money they want to get. So they say those kinds of things. And maybe some people genuinely believe that, but I think it's people who have given up in that game. So they make it seem like it's an evil thing because they don't feel like they can win at that game anymore. So they're like, I don't want to play that game anymore. I'm just going to tell you money's bad, money's this, money that, whatever. So you have people who are money monks that think it's dirty, it's evil. You'll learn all about that in our book when you read our book on the chapter on money personalities. But the main point is in your worksheets, you have to look at your money personality and your partner's money personality, because if you are a spender and they're a saver, or vice versa, maybe you're the saver and they're the spender. Maybe you're the person who goes out and produces and creates the money, and all they do is they spend it without an appreciation for how this money got there. Then that could cause some conflict. And then once that starts to cause conflict, then people start hiding things. They start hiding financial transactions they're making. When you start hiding things from your partner, you go out ethics. When you go out ethics, it affects your communication. When it affects your communication, it affects your overall relationship because you guys are not communicating well. Why? Because somebody violated ethics in the relationship. And it's all because it's not because necessarily because they were evil or so bad, is because they weren't on the same page to begin with. They didn't understand each other's money personalities. We talk about this all in our books. We share a lot of different stories from our real lives about different financial conflicts. Chelsea and I will have different agreements we had around money and how we solved them. So because Chelsea's money personality was a spender, it was a saver, and then mine was money personalities was a spender. So then if I'm wanting to spend to do something and she wants to save the money, so now we have a disagreement. So rather than going behind her back and trying to do something, we'd rather confront the issue and get on the same page. So in your worksheets, you should write out your money personality. You know, how do you handle money overall? Do you tend to spend money more than save it, or do you tend to be more of a saver, hold on to it, or do you think like money is dirty? You know, if you thought money was dirty, you probably wouldn't be on this webinar. But
or do you wish that you just didn't have to deal with money at all? That's called an avoider.
Yeah. So an avoider is somebody who's like they don't open the bills, they don't know where things are at, they just avoid the whole money conversation. They just want to avoid it, not handle it, right? So write down what you believe your money personality is, and then on there write down how has it positively impacted you, and how has it negatively impacted you. And then think about your partner's money personality in the second section there. Think about your partner's money personality. What was the positive impact and what was the negative impact of that? So in our case, for me, positive impact was I could use money to grow and expand whatever activity I was working on. The negative impact was at that time I would frivolously spend money. That money could have been used to build my capital and build my investment capital into other things versus just spending it. So that was a negative impact of being a spender. And Chelsea's money personality has a positive impact of being a saver. Was she could store more money, and some of the negative impacts was she missed out on opportunities because she was trying to hoard the money and not wanting to let go and put it to use, right? So she's just trying to hold on to it. Now, once you don't have to do that exercise during this webinar. You can take your time and do this exercise afterwards. You can do that with your spouse. You can do that on your own. And just as an observation for yourself, what are the positive and negative aspects of it? Now, when you both use the best of your money personalities and align your skills, you join forces to become a wealth creator. So when I can take my view of, hey, let's deploy this capital. Let's use this money to grow. Let's use this money to hire people. Use this money to do more and more stuff to expand. That's me putting the positive side of my money personality to use to become a wealth creator. Same thing. So now we focus on building more reserves. We focus on putting things aside because that's Chelsea's side of her money personality. So we take the positives of each person's money personality, we combine them together and say, okay, she understands when I'm trying to spend, I'm not trying to put the family in financial jeopardy. I'm spending to grow the business. I'm spending to expand, right? And then when she tells me, hey, we need to put more towards this thing, we need to hold back on this piece here so we can put this into reserves, I understand she's not trying to dictate to me like trying to be my mom, telling me what I can and can't spend on, but she's actually trying to put that aside so that we can use that to continue building. Once you can get on the same page with your money personalities, because that's one of the biggest division points when it comes to couples and money. Once you can understand both money personalities and you pull the positives from there, you can then work together to be wealth creators. That's why Chelsea is she organizes that. So it's great to have somebody who is a saver on those lines, right? It's because she's putting money aside to reserves. Every time money comes in, she puts money to reserves. And it's good to have somebody like me who's the driver of the revenue, wants to grow, spend to expand the business. Because I'm like, hey, we need to spend, hire more people. We need to spend to do this thing. We need to spend more on marketing. We need to spend more on this stuff, right? Because that's driving more revenue. So doing all of that allows you both to become wealth creators with taking the positives of each money personality.
Okay, so now that we've talked about identifying what hats, who's going to wear what hats, thinking about what your ideal life that you want to create together, and then looking at what your money personalities are, and communicating about that and communicating to each other's money personality, using your best skills and your best parts of your money personality to join forces and to reach your goals. Now you can look at, okay, what strategies can we put into place to reach our financial goals and create our ideal life? And so whether you realize it or not, we're all building a financial house. And some people have a financial shack. Some people have a financial mansion. Most people are like somewhere in between. So again, when you look at what your ideal life is, then you can decide what kind of financial house do you want to build. And there are 6 building blocks that make up your financial house. So we want to introduce to you briefly what these 6 building blocks are. And when you understand and implement them properly, you can strengthen each one of these building blocks. And then you can have what's called an unbreakable financial house, right? You can handle anything that comes your way financially. You can create the life that you want and the impact that you want. So I'm going to go through a few of these. Martin will go through a few of these. And then we're going to share with you how you can take the next step to start implementing these things even further in your relationship, your life, and your business, if you're a business owner. So the first building block is cash flow. This is the money coming in and going out of your household and or business. Okay, and this building block is so important because it feeds all the other building blocks. If you don't have this one strong, then you can't really do a whole lot with the other building blocks. So this one is so important and it's so key. The main focus here is to focus on getting it up and keeping it up. Okay, we're talking about cash flow here. I know we're talking about relationships, but that cash flow, you want to get it up and keep it up. Okay,
it's like Viagra for your money.
Yes, because when you're looking at your ideal life and what it costs, it's probably more than you're making right now. Because even if you're living what you would consider your ideal life, if you want to always grow and expand and evolve, and if you're alive, we can't just stay the same. Okay, we always have to be growing and expanding, getting to the next level. So even if you're living a great, successful life right now, there's still another level. And so it's important to look at how can we increase our cash flow to get closer to our ideal life, get to the next level, and make the impact that we want in our life. The next building block is debt management. This is understanding the difference between good debt and bad debt, okay? Good debt puts money in your pocket. That's like an investment property that somebody else is paying for. That's like investing in your business, okay? It puts money in your pocket. Bad debt takes money out of your pocket. That's like shopping on credit cards or your car that you're driving because it's losing value and you're paying for it. The house that you live in, you're paying the mortgage, you're paying the maintenance, right? And so that's taking money out of your pocket. It's not that one is good and the other one is bad. It's about understanding the difference and how to use them properly to increase your wealth.
Yeah, we're not saying don't have a mortgage or don't buy a house.
We're not saying don't have those.
We're just saying understand.
Yeah, and we're not saying that debt-free is the only way either. You hear there's a lot of things in each one of these building blocks that you hear in mainstream media, in mainstream, financial gurus, but you have to look at what is the best decision for you and your family and your business to put yourself in a stronger financial position versus a weaker financial position. So there's not one answer for everyone that is the exact fit. It depends on where you are and where you want to go. That's going to determine the best choice for you and your family. And building block number 3 is reserves. This is so key to have reserves for when unexpected things come about. We just had the whole world shut down, and even people who made a lot of money, if they didn't have proper reserves, they were financially screwed. And the people that did have reserves, they could continue on. Remember, when you're building an unbreakable financial house, you can handle anything that comes your way, whether it's a worldwide shutdown, a job loss, a sickness, whatever it is, you can handle it financially because you have the reserve set aside, okay? So it's very, very important. Mr. Matthews is going to tell you the next 3 building blocks. Oh, and sorry, really quick, in your worksheet, you can write down each one of these building blocks, what they are, and you can start to think about where you think you are in each one of these building blocks.
Yeah, so the next one is proper protection. So that's having the right kinds and right amounts of insurance, particularly life insurance, other types of insurance that a person might need. Because a couple of things to understand about proper protection is everybody or most people look at their lives and you picture everything going well. Nobody plans for getting cancer. Nobody plans for becoming disabled. Almost nobody plans for that to happen to them. However, it happens to millions of people all the time. Nobody plans, hey, what if I have a heart attack in 5 years from now? Nobody's thinking about that type of thing. However, having the right protection in place allows you the financial continuation of the family. So, for example, if I have a life insurance policy and I pass away, that ensures the financial survival of my household. What does that mean? It means that even if I die, my financial house does not crumble. My family can still continue to move forward financially. I may not be there, but financially, what I would have been able to contribute to them financially would still be there. The life insurance replaces my production. You understand? So I'm look at it from there. It's not about people think about life insurance and dying. Life insurance is not about dying. That's just the event that triggers one type of payment out of a life insurance policy. It is about the financial survival of a family. It ensures my family continues to flourish and prosper, even if I'm not there to produce that revenue for them. See, it's not about dying. It's about cash flow. It's going to create more cash flow for them in the event that I die or live. There's other types of life insurance we use a lot where we store money inside of life insurance policies, which we leverage for other assets. So you can store money inside of a life insurance policy and leverage it for income producing assets like real estate, all of that. So it has a component where it still protects you and it has a component where it builds cash in the policy that you can use for other assets while that cash continues growing. So I won't spend a tremendous amount of time on that. If you guys want information on that, you can reach out to us. Next thing is build wealth. So there's a lot of different ways to build wealth. And the tactical things you do about building wealth is less important than you understanding the concepts about building wealth. Here's what I mean. All the time, people ask me, what's the best investment right now? This is if you think about this question, it is a very inappropriate question for anybody to ask. The reason is, think of if you go to a bodybuilder and or a trainer and you said, what's the weights I should lift? I don't know. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know what's the best exercise for you. He needs to know something about you first to tell you that. There is no one best investment for anyone, right? There's no one, nobody should ever tell you that.
Except for in yourself.
Yes. You are your greatest investment. But that's not the only investment you can make.
But that's not specific investing in what? In yourself.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't go beyond how do you specifically invest in yourself? You can invest in your health, you can invest in your knowledge, you can invest in all kinds of different things. So when it comes to building wealth, what's more important for you to understand, more than what's the best investment, is what are the concepts I need to know. So I give you 3 tips when it comes to building wealth. You need to know the 3 enemies of your wealth. Once you understand that, you can apply that information and that knowledge to any investment. And then it will help you make a decision if that is a good investment for you or not. Because anytime somebody is telling you about any investment, especially if they sell it, they do have some sort of benefit to it. Like we have an insurance agency. So if we tell you buy life insurance, there is a financial benefit to us. So it doesn't mean that it's inappropriate or not appropriate for you. It just means you should always understand that concept. That if you ask a barber, do you need a haircut? Barber generally is probably going to say yes, you should get a haircut. Why? Because the barber makes money from selling your haircuts. But you should understand concepts, and then you can make a decision for yourself on what you do. So the 3 enemies of your wealth. Number 1 is taxes. It is the single biggest enemy of your wealth. I don't care what anybody says. It's the biggest bill you pay. The largest bill you pay is not your mortgage, is not whatever else you think is the most expensive thing. Your largest expense that you have is taxes. It's not just your income tax. It's all the other taxes you pay when you buy stuff. When you buy shit, they tax you. You make money, they tax you. You do this, they tax you. Die, they want to tax you. All of that. You save for retirement, you pull it out, they want to tax you, depending on where you keep that money. So you got to understand, taxes is the biggest enemy of your wealth because you actually don't even know what you pay for. What? Am I speaking loud? I'm scaring you? I'm trying to wake some people up. So understand that is an important aspect of building wealth. So anytime you're looking at an investment, one thing you can do, once you understand that, you're like, okay, how are taxes going to impact this investment? See, it doesn't matter what the investment is once you know the 3 enemies of your wealth, 3 biggest enemies of your wealth. So number 1 is taxes. Number 2 is inflation. So inflation is the cost of goods and services going up. So from January of last year to January of this year, inflation is up 7.5%. That's what they tell us. It's actually up more than that. But that's the official number. What does that mean? It means something that cost, $100 last January now cost $107, $107.50 today. Now, if your bank accounts was paying higher than inflation, that would be one thing, but bank accounts are not. So anytime you lend money to the bank in your savings account, and people don't realize that, they think you're saving money in a savings account. No, you are lending money to the bank when you save money in a savings account, because the bank takes that money and the bank lends it to other people. They use that money. So you're giving them a loan. That's why they pay you some tiny little bit of interest, because you're lending it to them. They pay you 0.10% interest on average, right? That's a
Wow.
tenth of 1%, a tenth of 1%. So now understand that when you lend that money to the bank, they lend it to other people and they make money off of that. So you have to start thinking about, how do you reposition assets so that you can earn a higher interest rate than what the bank is paying you and still keep your money safe. Because if you don't do that, you're losing value every year due to inflation. So if you have $100 this year, it buys you less than $100 last year bought you. It buys $92.5 worth of stuff. You understand? Because inflation went up, your your money went down. The value of cash is going down rapidly because cost of things are going up, and it's because the government printed more money. They inflated the money supply. When you inflate the money supply, prices have to rise to meet that inflated number of new money that's been created. That's what's happening, right? That's in a basic nutshell what is happening. So you have taxes. We talk about taxes. Talk about number 2, inflation. Number 3 is market losses, market risk or market losses. So wherever you invest your money, if you invest it in, whether it's the stock market, real estate market, crypto market, whatever market you're in, again, it doesn't matter what the specific investment is. You apply this information to any investment. How does this handle taxes? Can I outpace inflation? And what is my level of risk? Market risk, right? So if I'm investing in real estate that I can flip and I make a profit, great. I may have very minimal risk in that because I can find a property. One of our buddy, Michael Phillips, he finds properties for cash and he sells them. And so he can identify a good property and he can flip it. You see? So under there, he's not subject to a tremendous amount of market risk. Now, if you buy multifamily real estate, right, even if the housing values go down, it doesn't drastically affect you because you're getting cash flow from that real estate. Do you understand? If you buy into self-storage, you buy self-storage units. Doesn't matter if real estate goes up and down because people are always going to need a place to store their crap. So they're going to be paying cash flow on that self-storage. It was the best performing real estate asset class in 2008. Affordable housing. We like, I also like assisted living, and I also like mobile home parks, right? So I like those. Cash flow, because they generate cash flow. You understand? So that's very important. And how are we on time? Okay. So taxes, inflation, market risk, market losses. So one of the things Chelsea and I do, some of the assets we have is in crypto. We have a crypto portfolio. We've been putting more and more money into crypto. Why? Because I can generate cash flow from crypto. A lot of people don't know that, but you can actually buy crypto and you can generate passive income from that. So even if those tokens fluctuate, I use some of them that don't fluctuate very much. And so I get cash flow off my crypto. In addition to that, if I can minimize my risk, which we know how to do effectively, then the upside in crypto is very high. So as a result, I have massive upside. So for me, that makes sense for me to put some of my assets in there.
We have massive upside.
We have massive upside. So our son has a crypto portfolio. Chelsea has her own crypto portfolio as well, and I have a crypto portfolio. We all put it together. So she got different assets. And
my wallet is mine, and his wallet is ours.
That is correct. That is true. Because we put more into. Anyway, I won't get into this on that, but yeah, we have different wallets and different stuff like that, and we do crypto effectively. And as a matter of fact, we actually have a crypto masterclass coming up. I'm paying a buddy of mine $25,000 to come and speak to some of our clients on digital assets, things we're doing. How do you actually use crypto? How do you integrate crypto with buying real estate to minimize taxes? Some advanced strategies and different things like that with crypto. How do you compound money using cryptocurrencies? How do you get yield and passive income over cryptocurrencies? We're doing all of that. So if you guys are interested in any of that, send me a DM. We'll get you the details on it. So build wealth. Those are the 3 things you should look at. And then from there, apply that to any asset, whether you want to buy mutual funds, real estate, whatever the investment is. Ask those 3 questions. How do the 3 enemies affect this asset? Taxes, inflation, and market risk, market losses. How is that impacted on those assets? The last one is build legacy. So that's having the right legal structures and the right documents in place so that your wishes can be carried out. So if those are having things like a will, trust, financial power of attorney, healthcare directives, stuff like that. So if I ever became incapacitated, what my family knows exactly what to do. If Chelsea and I pass away tomorrow, then our son William is provided for, and we have a trust in place. The assets will go into the trust, and we have trustees that will carry out our wishes. They know exactly what needs to be done. They know in what circumstances William can access the trust for special reasons, all those kinds of different things. So those are the 6 building blocks. The Unbreakable Financial House will show you how we can help you get better organized and reach some of your goals with these.
Not yet.
Okay. Yanked my hand. Okay.
So if you guys want to learn how you can actually identify and look at where you are in each one of your building blocks in your financial house, and what are the best strategies and best things for you to do based on your financial goals, we have a couple of offers for you that you can take it to the next level. You can get some additional help implementing these things. And one thing that we're going to be announcing, we're going to announce a winner. We're picking someone to win a $100 gift card, and we can probably go, well, and a signed copy of our book, Let's Fight About Money. And we'll be announcing the winner tomorrow, because we did have a few people that couldn't be on live, that they're going to be watching. And what I want to see is, I would love to see what in the comments, what your takeaways are from the event, and how you and your partner, if you're in a relationship, are going to implement these things. And if you would like to get more, we have a free gift for you guys. Our free gift is a digital copy of our book, Let's Fight About Money. So if you registered for the event, you got an opportunity to download our ebook. So you will get a link for that. And also, if you want to get more and you want to start implementing how to strengthen each one of these building blocks, we have a cash flow course. It's the easiest money management system ever. And that we, oh, it doesn't have the prices on here. Oh, yeah, right here. I see, this is the one thing. Okay, so our cash flow course, you can start implementing the first building block and exactly how to organize your finances so you can focus on increasing them. And it also comes with an audio version of our book. And it's actually Martin and I who are delivering the audio version of our book.
And we're sharing more stuff in that than in the print copy of the book.
Yeah, we do.
There's more stuff and all that.
Yes, there's some additional things. So if you prefer to hear the book, then read the book with your eyeballs. The audiobook is a great version. And usually this course, it's a value of $129, but today we're offering it to you for only $39. And if you want to take it a step further and actually learn how to implement all of these building blocks and get a customized financial strategy plan so you can identify exactly where you are in each building block and the exact steps to reach your financial goals. This also includes a one-on-one call with us or someone from our team to go over your plan and implement your action steps to get there. It's a value of $1,000, but today you can get it for $250. Or if you want to get both things, the cash flow course and the financial strategy plan, you can get it for only $229 today. So you can go to letsfightaboutmoney.com/cashflow, and you'll also be sent, if you registered for the event, you'll be sent the links. If you didn't register for the event, we'll put that link in the comments, or actually just comment if you didn't register. We'll send you the link to register, and then you get those links. Or you can just go to letsfightaboutmoney.com/cashflow.
And it's all listed on that site. And I think Rain dropped it in the comments, right? Yeah, it's all listed on that site. If I were you guys, if you're trying to get your finances in order, I would just go into the path of doing a financial strategy plan because it goes over all those 6 areas and helps
Yeah,
you
if
with
you get the whole
different
thing, then you
things.
get all of it.
Yeah, and then the course, it's something we recorded because people ask us all the time, hey, what are some of the things you guys do with cash flow? We're updating it so to be ready. The cash flow course part, we're going to film it and have it re-edited, and then that'll be ready next week to send out to you guys. But in the meantime, you still we'll get the audiobook today, and you can get scheduled for.
And this price is only
strategy.
available today, and there's like a link that will be sent out, so it's available for a very short period of time, and then it's the regular prices.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a special for Valentine's Day is coming up. We want to help couples get on the same page, identify your ideal life, and start working towards it together. So we're offering this as a special, and we wanted to share with you, that's the reason that we actually wrote our book, Let's Fight About Money, because when we very first started doing videos on online and on social media, we would share stories about our relationship, also things that we have experienced working with couples in our business, and some of the money conflicts and challenges of having different ideas, and some of the things that we faced, having different money personalities and making financial decisions, and then also having a business together. So even if we have a personal conflict, you got to be able to put that aside. We were lucky because we were forced to work through our challenges because we also had a business to run together. And if we didn't run our business because we were fighting, we didn't survive. So we didn't have a choice. And so when we started sharing some of these things, people were like Martin mentioned earlier, do you guys really talk this much about money? Do you really get along this well? Do you really spend this much time together? And so this was something that people really wanted to know how to achieve in their relationship. And so, excuse me, that's what gave us the idea to write the book, to talk about how we overcame these things, how we improved our communication, how we got on the same page. Yeah. And so we really want to share that part of the impact that we want to make is not just improving our life, but we want to help people with the things that we've learned and implemented to also improve your life and your relationships and your finances. So that's really why we're driven to share this information and help you guys with these things.
Yeah, and Chelsea and I do date night every Friday. That's our goals, and so we do date night on Friday nights. We've been doing that for years. We're doing that even before we got married. That was one of the rules I had before when I first started dating her. Is we needed to do date night once a week. It doesn't have to be a Friday, but at least once a week. And so we often talk about our goals. We talk about what we want to achieve. So our date nights are also business meetings because we're business partners in the business. That's another thing.
So we can write it up.
So there's some tax advantages to having date nights with your business partner.
And that's something we had to get on the same page about. I tried breaking up with him over it when we were just dating because he was so serious about date night. And at the time, I was still a single mom. I had just moved to a new state. William, our son, was in a new school. I was doing another job and trying to learn the financial industry. So I had all these things on my plate, and I'm like, a freaking date night is required? That's too much. That's just another thing on my plate. I can't handle this. And so it wasn't until we got on the same page and talked about why that's important for our relationship. Okay, I want to share some things that people are writing. Rick says, we're going to make these building blocks the foundation of an actionable plan going forward. We want to get all these things running in the right direction. We definitely have work to do. And then Brooke says, read your book with my husband. Great read. I found the building blocks very helpful. Awesome. This information is great. It will definitely help us moving forward. Very cool. And Brittany says, I can't wait to share this with my husband. Being on the same page will help us grow as a couple and financially. Absolutely, because when you guys have conflicts, when you have a conflict, you guys are putting your attention and focus on this conflict and making each other wrong or proving yourself right. But when you get aligned, you're using your strengths and you're focusing your power and your attention and your resources in the same direction, and you can get there so much faster rather than it's like this fight the whole time. Not even if you're not actually fighting, but just not being on the same page and being aligned. It's like this struggle rather than just zip lining right there. And it doesn't mean you never have conflicts or never have challenges. But when Martin and I have challenges or conflicts, it's not like we fight and yell at each other anymore, but we may have a difference of opinion. We may get upset with each other. But we know that
we never yelled at each other necessarily, because you said anymore.
Oh, well, yeah, true. But just as far as like,
But we have had conflicts.
oh, I get annoyed, let me
Yes.
tell you. And
And
he gets annoyed.
I annoy her a lot.
Like
so-
a lot. No, I'm just kidding.
You guys got to understand, we are around each other
All the time.
a tremendous amount.
But the
So-
point is, though, is even if we have these annoyances or differences of opinions, it's like our goals and the impact that we want to make are so big and so high up there that these annoyances and difference of opinions are down here. We still talk about it and we still, clear it up, and we work through it. But we know that it's not like, oh my God, are we going to make it? Which, if you guys have read our book, or if you read our book, it starts out with the burger story. We almost, I wasn't sure if we were going to make it over a burger. We had a fight over a burger. And so you'll see how when you get so aligned and your goals are so big that it's not like, oh my God, are we going to make it? It's like, okay, we got to get through this challenge. We got to get through this barrier.
Yeah, and you got to appreciate that, George.
Thank you, George.
Big love to you, man. So look, man, it's ultimately, it comes down to not just even you and your spouse, couples being on the same page is one start. Everybody in the family has to also be on the same page. They got to understand what we're trying to do and what we're trying to grow and what things we need to get done. Our son's 16. So during the summer, he came and worked in the business. He was here in the office every day, and he had to go back to school. And so during the summer, he's going to come back here and work again in the office. So he needs to also understand the business. And he didn't just get hired. We didn't just be like, oh yeah, come work in a business. He had to apply. He had to go through and do a questionnaire. Everybody comes and do a questionnaire. He had to do an interview. He had to do all that stuff before we hired him. We sent him an offer letter. He has to accept the offer letter, and he gets on payroll, all of that. So he went through the process with it. There's no special treatment here, and there's no free rides here, okay? So now, why do we do that? Because Chelsea and I are on the same page. We are not going to just hand it to him. You understand? I'm not going to build something and just hand it to somebody just because they're my child. You've got to understand, how do you continue with it? So that means you need to know what to do. All of those things are things we talk about in our book. There's a chapter on teaching your kids about good money habits. We wrote a chapter about that. Wrote a chapter, if you're a dad, I give my perspective on some of that inside of our book. Chelsea gives her perspective as a mom in the book. All of these things are things that are extremely valuable. So I'll put this back up here before we wrap up here. As we wrap up here, you guys can screen capture this, so you can, if you want to go and take advantage of some of these things we're offering here today, go and do that.
So you can go to letsfightaboutmoney.com/cash flow and see the offers that we have. Pick what works best for you. Our recommendation is just to get the whole package. It's a great deal. It's not going to be offered again for this price. And you can get a customized financial strategy plan, as well as our audiobook, our cash flow course, and will help you implement the exact steps to reach your financial goals.
Yeah, and then the cash flow course will be sent out next week because we're updating it, so we'll get that all to you guys next
week. And continue putting in the comments. We'd love seeing in the comments what your biggest takeaways were today and how you're going to implement what you learned today. And also take some time to fill out that worksheet. And this is something that you can use over time. You can update it. You can add to it. And you can review it. And it would be great if you're in a relationship for you and your partner to fill it out individually and then look at it together and start working on your ideal life. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this. I hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day. And also we'll be announcing. I hope
you get your freak on for Valentine's Day.
Oh my God. So you definitely, the more that you guys share in the comments definitely gets our attention as well, because we will be picking a winner and we're going to announce tomorrow about this time. We're going to announce the winner for a $100 gift card and a signed copy of our book, Let's fight about money. I hope you guys had a great
Hope your
time.
Valentine's Day is romantic and happy and fun.
Have
That's
a
all I
great
got to say.
day.
Peace out, everybody.